So the first thing you need to do is open Blender. This is Blender 5 that I'm using at the moment. It does work with earlier versions of Blender, 4.x and 3.x, but if possible, I'd suggest using the newest version. So once you have Blender open, make sure that you have a mesh that has AIKit blend shapes, and you can tell by checking the shape keys panel on the right hand side here. If you see these values here that look like I blink left, I look down left, etc., that indicates the AIKit shape keys. It doesn't have to be the full set, which is about 61 blend shapes, but they do have to be formatted like this. You don't have to have the exact naming. Yours might be capitalized, or they might have underscores or hyphens or something in there, but they do have to correspond to the same deformations on the mesh. So you see here, I can drag this I blink left blend shape value from 0, which is the rest position, to 1, which is fully closed, and you can see the eyelid close on the mesh. The add-on won't work with armature or bone-based deformations. You need to have AIKit shape keys. So once you've ensured that you have a mesh that has those blend shapes, then you can head over to the Gumroad page. If you are using if you're using Safari on macOS, and you just click download, that won't work, because you see here, it will download a zip file, but it will automatically extract it after downloading. So you see this folder here, LiveLinkFace. That means that Safari has automatically extracted the zip file, which means you can't install it directly into Blender. So if you are using Safari, make sure to right click and download linked file, and that will download and preserve the zip file itself. So once that's downloaded, you go back to Blender, click the Edit menu button, then click Preferences, Add-ons, and then there's a drop-down arrow on the right-hand side here. Click that and click Install from Disk. Find the location that you just downloaded that zip file, double-click, and it will install and activate automatically. So you see here, you'll see this LiveLinkFace tab on the side panel here. So after you've installed the add-on, the first step is to select the mesh that has these shape keys and click the plus button here. That means that anything we're about to do in the next step, which is either apply an animation from a CSV file or stream it from our phone, will be applied to that mesh. So you can actually, if you want, apply it to multiple meshes. So I just duplicated that mesh there. You can add another one, and it will drive both of them simultaneously. This is relevant because often you might have different meshes for different parts of the face. So the eyebrows might be one part, the eyes might be another part, the skull might be another part. And so if you want to drive all of them, you need to select all of them. So when you open the LiveLinkFace app, you should see the camera feed from the front camera with a mesh overlay in front. It's pretty simple. You can tap the live button up here to start streaming or stop streaming, as the case may be. You can tap the camera button here to turn the camera preview off while preserving the blend shape capture, or you can turn off everything. That's important if you have an older phone or one with a slightly worse battery, because it can overheat after some time. But I'm going to turn everything back on just for the purposes of demonstration. So for now, we'll just focus on recording. I'm going to tap the record button. I'm going to start speaking my lines, and I'm going to stop. So once you have that recording, just tap the clickerboard film slate icon in the bottom left here. That will show you a list of videos that you've just taken. The record button, I'm going to hit pause to stop play, and see there's a share icon here. I'm going to tap that, and I'm going to airdrop it to my computer. You can also use email, Telegram, whatever. Okay, so once you're back on your computer, you want to unzip that zip file that you just received, and you're going to see something that looks like this. My Slate 45 iPhone CSV and My Slate 45 iPhone MOV. Yours may have CSV files with _cal, _neutral, and _raw. You will see those if you've calibrated your iPhone to adjust for the neutral expression. That take, obviously I hadn't calibrated it, so I'm just going to see these ones here. If you don't see something that looks like this, then most likely you have most likely you have recorded in MetaHuman mode. So you need to go back into the app, tap the settings icon, go to capture mode and choose ARKit. The MetaHuman animator captured recordings won't work with this particular add-on. So back to Blender then, find the folder that you just unzip that recording zip file to, select the CSV and go load from CSV. That then is going to create a animation here for both the face, blend shapes, and the head. Set aside the head for a moment. So you can see here, if I drag the frame handle here, it's going to have the recording that matches my face. Then if you know what you're doing, what you can actually do is extract just the audio from that movie file that was stored, and you can add it as a sound clip in the sequencer. So align that with the first frame now, and see the audio blend.
The record button, I'm going to start speaking my lines, and I'm going to...
They're not actually aligned. Now that's because the frame rate of the scene does not match the frame rate that the blend shapes were recorded in. When we import via a CSV, it will resample the blend shapes to the frame rate that you've set for your scene, but that doesn't necessarily match the sample rate of the audio. So I think if you saw in our LiveLinkFace app, we were recording at 30 frames a second. So if I change the frame rate of the scene itself to 30 frames.
The record button, I'm going to start speaking my lines, and I'm going to...
You can see that it's now aligned. Now, if your blend shapes are named slightly differently from mine here, like maybe yours use a capital E instead of lowercase e, and you try and load a CSV, you can see here it's not going to work because the add-on expects you to have these canonical Apple ARKit names, which start with a lowercase. In the paid version, you can actually remap blend shape. So say, okay, this one in my mesh corresponds to this one in the LiveLinkFace format. So if I change those there and then go load from CSV, you can see it loads them according to the names that we specified. In the free version, you will just have to rename the actual blend shapes themselves here in Blender, which can be a bit tiresome, but I do have some scripts for certain types of remapping. So if you want, you can join the Discord and ask me if I have anything that can help there. Okay, so now we're back in the LiveLinkFace app, and I'm going to tap the settings icon in the top left and go to the streaming panel or category, tap that page, and so you see here we've got targets. So that IP address has to be the IP address of the computer that is running Blender. And this is probably the trickiest part for most people, because your host computer running Blender has to be addressable or on the same network as your iPhone. Some people don't realize that their iPhone is connected to a wireless network and their computer is connected to a wired network, and the phone can't actually reach the computer. I will write some links to instructions for how to find your IP address, but that's certainly the hardest part for most people. So I'm just, after setting the IP address and the port, I'm going to go back, click done. Okay, so I'm going to click connect in the add-on panel and then tap the live button up the top. And once it turns green, then you can see that I'm streaming live directly into Blender. So every word that I speak and all the expressions I make, close my left eye, close my right eye, that's being replicated inside Blender. You can see here that nothing's actually being recorded in Blender. If I disconnect in the paid version, there's a checkbox for record. So once you check that and then click connect again, then everything you do will be recorded in an action inside Blender, and the frame rate should match the frame rate of your project. So it should be resampling properly. If you are working with the free version, then you will need to record inside the app and then upload the zip file and load from CSV. But even then, streaming still is quite useful, particularly if you're working with the mesh itself and you want to rig things, because it allows you to quickly check the expressivity of the mesh and make sure that all your loops are good and your blend shapes are good. But if you need to record it, then check out the paid version. Okay, so head rotation is another tricky one. I'm just going to connect my stream and go live on my phone. So you can see here that when I talk or when I blink, everything's replicated in the viewport. But if I turn my head left, right, up, down, side to side, nothing happens. So there's a couple of reasons for that. Number one is that my mesh here, it doesn't have a neck, right? It's just a head. There's no skeleton. I'm just going to zoom out. You can see there's no skeleton here. So let's just add a very simple armature in Blender. And I'm going to, maybe let's just move this down here a little bit. And we'll scale the bone down, move it up like this. Okay. All right, let's parent our mesh to that bone. And we'll just do it with automatic weight. So if I go like this, let's just make it a little bit smaller. Oh. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay, so now you can see if I go to pose mode and I move that bone, then the mesh moves. And I think I must have lost a lip there. I'm not sure where that came from. Anyway, so now that we have a head bone, we need to link that with the LiveLinkFace add-on, because what we have is a bone, but what the LiveLinkFace app produces is a blend shape, which ranges from, I think, -1 to 1, representing, you know, full left rotation to full right rotation. And so we need to drive this bone with the value of that blend shape. So if you're using the paid version, you can select the armature under this head neck bone driver here. And then we've only got one bone in our armature, so we'll select that bone and click add update bone driver here. So now if I stream, let's go back and connect and go live. I stream left, right, up, down, and then so that's obviously a very, very quick and ugly rigging process, but you can see now that the blend shapes themselves are being used to rotate the neck and rotate the head. So we've actually inverted some of the directions here. So if I look left, it's looking right. If I look right, it looks left. Now, if we want to change that, let's just disconnect. Then we can open the properties panel for that bone, and then right-click the angle or the axis of rotation for that bone, and we can flip the sign here. So let's go back, go live, and connect, and then I think that has. Okay, so that now has fixed the rotation about the x-axis, which is what's this pitch? The pitch of the neck. And you can go and do that for all the other bones. Like if I wanted to flip the left and right, that will be rotation about the Blender upper Z, isn't it? So this one, so let's go -1. So now we've changed. Left, right, left, left, right, yeah. Now, if you're using the free version of the add-on, you won't have this driver panel here. So let's just remove all these drivers. I'm just disconnect for a second. We'll remove the drivers, delete driver. You're going to have to replicate this manually. And the way that you do that is by selecting your bone. This is assuming the bone is already part of an armature that that the mesh is parented to. And you're going to have to open up this custom properties panel here. Oh, no, get out of pose mode. Custom properties on the mesh, not on the bone, on the mesh. And when you stream for the first time, or when you load from CSV for a first time, the add-on will add these head pitch, head roll, head yaw custom properties here. And it will animate those. However, what it won't do is connect it to the bone. So you've got to go back to your bone and then click add driver and select the object, the mesh object, and it will be what is it? Single property. So select single property, and the path will be head pitch. So once I've added that manually, I'm going to reconnect and go live. If I've added it. Oh, sorry. Okay. So that was a bit of a mistake. I added the wrong driver. So I added it to location X, location Y. Let's remove that driver and add it to rotation X. That's right. Okay, add driver, choose the object, mesh object, and then choose single property. And if it's the X-axis, generally that's the X-axis for your bone. That will correspond with head pitch. If your bone itself is oriented differently, then you're going to have to figure out whether it's pitch, yaw, or roll. So let's now go back, we'll reconnect, and if I move my head back and forward, you see there, okay, now it's connected directly. So again, you may need to play around with the orientation of the driver. That will change there. But that's how you can do that one manually. Then also, once you have recorded something inside Blender, there's this export to CSV option here. So you click that, and let's just call this exported.csv. That's just if you need to keep a copy for future reference, then or share it with someone, then you can load that exported CSV, and it's stored in the same format that is exported directly from the app.